everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Keeping Up with the Captains. I'm Jack.
I'm Bree.
What are we doing today, Bree?
We're interviewing Taylah and asking her some questions.
We are. Taylah, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, guys. How are you?
Tip top.
Good.
Good.
Are you excited to be here?
I'm very excited to be here. What an honour.
It's the number one new TV show at Ararat College.
Yeah.
Yes. And the first episode, the last one, was sensational. You guys did a great job. So well done.
Awesome. So Taylah, of course, is here today to answer some of our questions. There's a lot has happened this week in regards to announcements about schools, which we'll talk about as well today. But first, Taylah, how have you been going at home?
Look, honestly, it has been a bit of a struggle. And there's a few things that I'll, I suppose, touch on later on that has caused it to be a struggle. But in saying that, I think it's given me a really good opportunity to reflect on a lot of things. And I'm taking that, I suppose, heavily because I really want to spend this time and reflect back on this time as a positive moment of certain things. So it's a catch-22 really. And I think most of us are having, there's positives and there's negatives. And right now, I'm doing okay.
If students are feeling overwhelmed at the moment, what should they do?
I think there's a lot of things we can be doing to help, I suppose, calm ourselves down when we get to that point where we're feeling really overwhelmed with, it might be school, it might be overwhelmed with the news that we're seeing or hearing. I think it's really important that we maintain structure in our lives, and that's, I suppose, comes back to routine and day-to-day schooling and those kinds of things to keep us on track, because the moment we lose that structure, that's when we find ourselves super overwhelmed. So I think, things like making sure we take some time out to practice our self-care. So doing things that we love, doing things that relax us. They're really important to help us, I suppose, maintain the normal levels of stress that we have. So, yeah, doing things that we enjoy, that calm us down, taking some time out with our families, and trying not to, I suppose, dwell on a lot of the stuff that we're seeing in the minute.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And I mean, a lot of the issues that I know many of my peers and even I've been struggling with at the moment is motivation, because sometimes, sitting at a desk all day, it can kind of be quite draining and, I guess, drag on a bit. What's your advice for people who may be struggling to find that motivation?
Yeah, 100%. I'm in the same boat. And I think, and I did send out something on SMT to all the students about motivation. I think it will be up on our social media pages as well. And that's just a poster that briefly goes over ways we can stay motivated. And I think the main two tips that came out of that was breaking our tasks into chunks. I think that's really important, because sometimes we see something can be really overwhelming. But if we sit down and we break it up, it's more achievable. And that way, when we, create our to-do list, which is another way to stay motivated, creating those small daily to-do lists, when we have chunks of things, they're easier to accomplish, and making sure that we reward ourselves for those accomplishments and putting that in our to-do list. We can do this, this, and this, and then we get that reward at the end, and making sure that we break it all up so that it's not one big confronting task that we need to do.
These uncertain times can cause a bit of anxiety. How can we ease those worries?
Yeah, so the first advice I would give anyone at the minute would be to just limit our news exposure. So at the beginning of this pandemic, I found myself scrolling and watching, and it got to the point where I was feeling super overwhelmed and anxious about what I was seeing and what I was reading. So one thing to consider is the amount of news you're taking in. If you're watching the news 3 or 4 times a day and you're checking social media and you're finding that you're seeing every single news post that everyone's posting, it can become confronting and overwhelming, and that then makes us more anxious about what's going on. So that's the first thing I would recommend. The second thing is similar to the first question, I suppose, in making sure you're taking the time out to look after yourself and the self-care. And that also includes making sure you maintain a healthy diet, sleep routine, and all of these things work with each other. So if you're making sure you take some time out, reducing those stress levels, eating well, that will then lead to improved sleep. And if you look at our Facebook page, I've done lots and lots of, I suppose, sheets that you can see all these tips and tricks on to help us reduce our stress levels, and help increase our sleep and those kinds of things, because I think that's probably the main thing I'm seeing with a lot of students at the minute is sleep. So all of these things together can help us reduce that anxiety and stress that will then help us sleep.
And I think that's an important point, mentioning those infographics that are on social media. They're a great resource for anyone that wants to have a look at some of these in more detail. And people can always, of course, get in contact with you, can't they?
Yeah.
Awesome. Our next question on the list is screen time, which has been another issue. I mean, you talked about it a little bit with the news, but I guess we're spending all day looking at a screen. What would your advice be? Get outside or...
Yeah, so I personally, this has been my biggest challenge is screen time. I think we need to make sure we are switching off for a certain period of time and not going from school to phone to Netflix, back to phone, back to Netflix, and then trying to sleep, because, you know, we all know that we can be stimulated by screens and it's not healthy to be in front of a screen for that long. I think making sure you're taking the time out to do something that's not screen related. So that might be going outside and going for a walk. I know I've been listening to lots of podcasts because, you know, I'm still getting that, I suppose, engagement with some kind of entertainment, but I'm not sitting in front of a screen. And I've completely avoided the television. I'm not interested in it. I don't want to watch it. So that, and then listening to music. Can you hear those dings? Okay, sorry, you're going to have to edit that out. Oh. My computer's dinging. Sorry.
This is how popular Taylah is.
Please don't keep that in. No, actually, it's probably a good thing. My screen's this is my computer telling me that I need to take a break. So I have this timer on my computer that tells me every 40 minutes that I need to stand up, go for a walk, come back.
So if someone's got that on their computer and it's halfway through Mr. Healy's English class, should they just get up and leave?
Definitely not. Definitely not. I did this because I found I was sitting down too much during the day, and that's when we were at school. But taking the time out to do things that don't include a screen, and that might be drawing, it might be writing, it might be listening to music, just taking some time off the screens is really important. I couldn't stress this enough.
I know, but we were talking in the last episode, Bree's been walking up One Tree Hill.
Yes, that's very impressive.
Went again last night in the pitch black. Yes.
Look at you go.
In the pitch black.
Oh, okay.
Someone said hello to me and I almost cried. I was scared.
Did you have an adult with you, even though you're nearly an adult?
I was with my friend, same age, and if someone tried to kidnap us, we'd be both dead at the minute.
So don't recommend that one.
No, I don't recommend it. It's not a good idea.
No.
So we did hear today that schools, year 11 and 12 are going to be back on the 26th of May. We were speaking earlier in our student leadership team meeting that this can be quite a stressful time for people, that change once again.
Yeah. And it's very much similar to as we were coming into this, is it's going to be easing out of it. So we can develop those anxious feelings and the nervousness, which I know I'm experiencing. I suppose the unknown of what it's going to be like. So I think it is important that we maintain all of the strategies that we've been using and doing, and, you know, stick with it, because it will all work out in the end. And it's important to remember that it will end. There will be an end to it. But yeah, I know it's totally understandable if anyone's feeling super anxious or nervous about going back into schools, because that's another challenge in itself. So there'll be more than enough support, hopefully, for those students that are struggling through that time, and hopefully together we can make it as seamless as possible.
And if someone does want to get in contact with you, how can they go about that?
Yep, so they can message me on SMT directly. So that's probably the easiest way, because I'm listed as a coordinator on there for everyone. So yeah, direct message on SMT is the best way to get in contact with me.
It's time now for my favourite segment, which still doesn't have a name, but it's our funny videos / TikToks. It's not a great name, Bree. We really need to work on something for that. Bree, where's your favourite TikTok this week?
This week I don't have one once again, but I actually have an excuse this time. I've been doing trade school work, a lot of it, and walking. Sorry.
That's self-care, Bree. Self-care. You should be taking some time out to get a laugh off TikTok.
Jack's last TikTok was hilarious.
That was funny. And I can't believe you guys have never seen the dog barking guy. That's a classic. You're too young, maybe. Maybe you're a bit too young. I don't know. I have TikTok. I don't make them, but I have it and I watch them. They're quite a laugh. There's some good ones on there.
It's time to watch this isn't my favourite TikTok because, I mean, it's only been 2 days since we filmed our last episode, so I haven't got a favourite one yet, but next episode, Brie and I will both have our favourites. So today's favourite comes from the one and only English teacher, Miss Hughes, and it's quite a funny... I've had a bit of a sneak peek, and it's a short one. It's only 7 seconds, but it's quite funny. So are we ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. It works at the end.
At the start of
Try it.
I have no music.
I don't know.
I want to try that.
Same, but I
What
probably
a hygienic way to blow out a candle. Wait, did she sneeze or did she just...
No,
I think she went for it.
Oh.
But if blow out or blow in though. I think she blew out.
She blew in.
Oh.
Because that's what a
blew
snuff
out.
is. Yeah?
What is it?
No, I thought
it was blowing out.
if you blew it, that would be very dangerous. If you went like with a flame, burn your nose hairs.
Hang on, let me find the definition of snuffing. No, draw up air into the nose. That's what it means.
That's dangerous. I'm not trying it anymore.
That's very dangerous. Do not try this at home, kids.
I'll try the way I want to do it.
So if you just snuff, is that in, and then you snuff out?
You.
There's so many questions. This week, the school also released a video with some de-stress tips, which we've already talked about in today's episode, Taylah. But I think it's a good video to watch because there's some interesting cameos from our teachers. I like the graphics.
Credit to Miss Henry for doing this.
I wish I was as athletic as Lou.
Very impressive. The music is perfect.
It is. Oh.
To de-stress, what I like to do is sit down and watch the best footy team in Australia, make a really easy to-do list, wear some funky socks, and spend time with my number one girl, Lucy.
Are you a Cats fan, Taylah?
Definitely not. Admittedly, I barrack for Carlton. Controversial, I know.
Remember to make sure that your to-do list has...
I love his list.
I don't know if he can tick off be a legend yet.
We better not make any comment about that.
Unless his dog wrote it.
Are you saying it looks like his dog wrote it, Taylah?
No. His dog wrote it. They have very good handwriting.
I didn't know Miss Poole could play piano.
Neither did I.
I did.
This is the best.
I love how this clip's a bit longer because he's got to put the Tigers stuff on.
Yes. Yes.
I'm super stressed. I like to sit down with a blanket, a good book, and crochet.
I just want to clarify, I didn't explain it properly. I've had a few questions. No, I can't read a book and crochet at the same time. I probably should have used the word or instead of and.
Yeah.
So yes, no, I will either read a book or crochet. I can't do both. So, I usually crochet with a podcast. So. I don't have one on me. I can get one if you want me to edit.
We need to see a hat.
Okay.
Can you crochet, Brie?
My mum's like, I know how to, but I bet you if I had it in my hand at the minute, I wouldn't be able to do it because I haven't been doing it. I haven't done it for ages. But mum's taught me.
I reckon Taylah might be able to run some workshops.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we should start a crochet club at school.
Look, I'm sure, yeah.
I'm sure, yeah.
I'm sure, yeah.
Dirty. A bit of fluff on it.
That's okay.
It looks real. It looks professional.
Yeah.
I actually love it. That wraps up the episode for this week. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.